How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike The Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
The most pantsless co-host in the world.
That's right.
And you guys won't know because you're only getting this shot. So nobody in the audience knows what I'm wearing down there. It makes it an adventure during the show.
Mike, going back to his year one way tonight, guys.
Thank goodness we're not in the same room.
All right, Mike, so we can introduce our guest tonight. Let the people know where they can find you on Twitter.
At City Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, here we are with season 3 of our series, Cowboys Beef. Again, a series where Mike and I bring on fans of the Cowboys to discuss what it's like to be a Cowboys fan, their season expectations, and everything in between. Our guest tonight is a loyal Cowboys fan, one of our country's finest veterans, making his podcast debut. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David to the show. David, how are you?
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, we're happy to have you, brother. David, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
At Dave Stradamus.
I like that. You know, I want to ask you a question, but I feel like we'll get on to some long conversation that's going to take us away from Cowboys talk. I don't want to do that to the audience, so I'll avoid that question for now. So, David, let's go ahead and get after it. How long have you been a Cowboys fan?
It goes back to, I think it was the '92 Super Bowl, when Dallas beat the Bills. I think it was 52-17. I want to say maybe it was '94 Super Bowl. I can't exactly remember, but yeah, I specifically remember watching. That was the first game I can remember, and I just remember it was just electrifying, and I was hooked.
Yeah, I got you, man. That makes sense.
You've got a long history then. You're not as young as Mr. Brendan from last week, so this one could go a lot of ways. All-time favorite player?
You know, for me, I grew up wanting to be Deion Sanders. I think like backyard football, every kid wanted to be prime time. But I got to go Emmitt Smith. I got to go Emmitt. Simply the things he accomplished and how he played, just the fortitude that he had, didn't matter what was in front of him. You know, that is, you know, what you want to aspire to, you know, growing up as a guy.
Yeah.
He was so tough.
Man,
yeah.
You know, Emmitt being a great player, but I haven't heard too many people say Deion Sanders. That's a great one too.
Yeah, I mean, just pure speed, just all show, you know, the chains, the bandanas, you know, just that cool cat, you know.
Really, seriously, yeah. So who's your current favorite player, David?
I mean, you got to be crazy not to say Micah, right? I mean, the guy's a monster. You know, I mean, what do you want him to do? You want him to play middle linebacker, outside linebacker? You want him to rush? I mean, he's just everything you could ask for.
Yeah, Micah's incredible. One of my he's just there's a thing right now that just came out talking about top pass rushers, and like one of the groupings had him like 6, and I was going through in my head like, okay, Myles Garrett, sure, you know, Nick Bosa, okay, he's up there, TJ Watt maybe, you know, that's that, but who the hell would be the other 2 that people would have above Micah Parsons? It blew my.
I mean, I guess you could make an argument for what Chase Young was supposed to be.
Yeah, oh Lord!
He just has
but there's nothing that he's done. You know, I've heard people still trying to make arguments for him, and I'm like, man, he's got nothing. You know, it's the same thing as the Sam Howell, you know, talk about how he's going to be the next greatest quarterback. Give the guy a few games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, talk about some stress, man.
Agreed. Do you think this is the best offseason for the Cowboys in the Dak era?
I would have to say, yeah. I think this is as far as uh, the shock, the big moves that they made.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time in a long time we've been active in free agency, and we landed two studs. You know, I mean, so we made a big splash. To me, it was a really good off season.
Yeah, when you look at the additions that we've made to the team, I think the losses can't be looked over. Are you worried about our offense after the losses of Kellen Moore and Ezekiel Elliott?
Uh, not really. Um, I've never been a big McCarthy guy, um, but you could see more of Kellen Moore. Uh, it almost kind of seemed like he was trying to prove something again, with some of his play calling, and I just kind of lost faith in Kellen Moore. And honestly, I wasn't that big of a fan of re-signing Zeke when we did, um, but we did, and I really didn't see enough to prove that he belonged there anymore. You know, especially with Pollard coming on like he has. I mean,
Yeah,
you've got a stud back there. You know,
yeah, that makes sense.
You had a stud in the backfield, and the other guy who I love Ezekiel Elliott, but he was
yeah,
the lowest efficient backs in the league, and he was 10th in attempts. Like,
right.
that's
It
malpractice.
Right. I mean, for what we invested in him in that contract, we did not get payout for that. So anybody that wants him back, it just would never make sense for us to bring him back. You know,
No,
he absolutely underperformed for the last few years since we signed him. Since we re-signed him, I think he's just declined ever since that sign date.
I agree with you, by the way. Knowing what you know now, I heard you're not a McCarthy guy. Brian Schottenheimer doesn't get the best, reviews in his time in Seattle because of how much he wanted to run the ball. Knowing what you know now, would you have kept more? Or are you still like, you know what? New voices are needed.
You know, uh, I've never been a big McCarthy guy simply because Aaron Rodgers won him a Super Bowl and he's been riding those coattails. Um, that being said, though, we just had one of the best off seasons we had. Um, I don't know how much influence he had in that, because we all know how the Joneses like to run things. Um, but I think that we could be onto something here. Retaining Quinn is literally, I mean, that is what we have to do. That is absolutely the only guy that should be running that defense.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you as well. Um, when you look at the offseason for the Cowboys, do you think Dallas had a better free agency, or do you think they had a better draft?
We had a really good draft. We really did. It was solid. We made some really good key picks. But man, bringing in Gilmore and Cooks, uh, you got to say we had a better free agency. Um, I don't think we addressed all the needs that we have. Um, but free agency was definitely better.
Speaking of Gilmore and Cooks, you got Cooks needed weapons, some speed for the offense. You got Gilmore, a vet, there to teach all these young cornerbacks and maybe be the main top guy at the cornerback unit. Maybe get some throws over to our intercepting guys like
Yep.
Diggs and Bland. So
Any
which
of
one
them.
do you think has more of an impact, Gilmore or Cooks?
Gilmore. He's wearing 21 for a reason, man. The guy's a stud. We've seen what he can do on multiple different teams. It's not a scheme thing. He's for real. He's the real deal. And you're talking about putting him on the other side of the field from the best intercepting corner. I mean, Diggs has the best hands at corner. Where are you going to throw the ball? There's nowhere to throw the ball. Look at our linebackers. Look at our safeties. Hooker back there just waiting for a tight end to come across. I'm telling you, man, we have a fan to be Gilmore.
Gilmore. I like that, man, because not that it's a wrong answer, but Cooks is a low-hanging fruit. Well, our offense wasn't as good. The offense needs speed.
Yep.
We need a wide receiver too. Cooks, easy answer. But
right,
man, Gilmore is so underrated because you're right, and people forget Deron Bland, my Fresno State guy, big Fresno State Bulldogs. He had
put him in that slot. Yeah.
And so now you're looking at either throwing the ball to one of the best veteran corners. Like there's an ascendancy of like Revis and them, Ramsey. Well, Gilmore's in that grouping.
He's that guy. Yep, he's that guy.
You either throw to them or you throw to the two young intercepting machines.
I mean, Curse is back there too. Hooker's back there. Wilson's back there. They're literally the depth at guys with hands. There is nowhere you can throw the ball. And that's what he is, literally the crown jewel in that Dan Quinn defense. That pickup in free agency was so key. This defense is gonna go down as one of the best defenses that have ever played.
Oh,
I like that.
You can put that down. You can put that down at bold predictions.
That's what I was gonna say. Bold call. Let's go.
I'm talking about the Ravens back in the day with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Man, I'm telling you, this defense is special.
I'm ready.
I like that, man. I like that. Getting us.
And I'm a big defensive guy. I love defense.
Well, you're gonna like this next question here, Dave.
All right.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm ready.
No. Okay. So, sticking with the defense, who would you like to see take a significant 2-year leap on the defense? With Damone Clark, Deron Bland, or Sam Williams?
Well, first of all, if Bland comes back and has the same season he had last season, I'm down. I mean, the guy doesn't really need to take a leap. He sits behind Gilmore and learns. Man, that is the guy for years to come. But for me, if one guy could take a leap on that defense, it's Sam Williams. Step up, show me what you've learned in the offseason from DeMarcus Ware. You're playing opposite Parsons or Lawrence, dominate. If we can get him to dominate with Mozzie in the middle, man, we could have a mean defensive front.
Yeah, they
could.
I
was thinking about Mozzie in the middle.
Yep.
They could use the money. I'm not running anybody out the door. I love DeMarcus Lawrence. But it would be nice to know, hey, if Lawrence has a foot, or if Lawrence's cap hit is too much next year, and that's a discussion you got to have.
We got a guy.
Oh, we got a guy. Like, we know we got this guy.
And, Dorrance Armstrong's kind of, but he doesn't have that ceiling that Williams has, that I think Williams has. He shows flashes. He does. He really shows in a lot of his hand gestures. He showed that he picked up a lot. But man, if he could just take it just one step farther and just complete that package, that would be a real key piece to that defense.
let's flip it to the offensive side. We're talking the same type of question, the big jump for our second-year guy. Would you rather it be Tyler Smith, Jalen Tolbert, or Jake Ferguson?
Ooh, Tyler Smith is really good, and I like the way that he played last year. I think sticking in one position would be really good for him. I gotta go Ferguson. I really do. Tolbert would be a nice development to have, but we already have Gallup. But if tight end pays off, man, Ferguson would be a real nice piece. He'd be the next great Dallas tight end. I would love to see that happen.
Would you rather?
I would not be mad about that either.
Would you rather Fergie take a big leap, like to say he top 10 tight end numbers, right? Or Michael Gallup go back to 2019 Michael Gallup, 1,200, 6 touchdowns?
Definitely Michael Gallup. Man, you think about it. You got Lamb, Cooks, and that Michael Gallup. I mean, Dak's going to throw for 4,800 yards. You're talking about big numbers there. The capability is there. But the guys have to perform every week. We got to stop being so injury prone. We got to figure out ways to keep guys healthy.
Agreed.
Yeah. That would be a nice offense, man. If Gallup returned to 2019 form. Okay,
and Pollard coming out of the backfield. That's just insane.
Yeah, it really is exciting to think about. Okay, so we know that we've got some guys are due for extensions and new contracts. Talking about Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. Which of those 3 players would you extend first if it were up to you, David?
For me, I always lean quarterback. If you've got your guy, keep your guy. At the same time, though, Jerry Jones put that 88 on CeeDee Lamb. So who he's extending. If it comes to the 3 of them, he'll find somebody else to throw the ball to 88, but 88 stays. And I think that's his mindset in this. Also because Dak's had some time. I don't want to say that we would move on from him, but at a certain point, Jerry's not going to be happy with status quo.
It's very fair. Very fair. Let me ask you, if you had to lose one of those 3, and you got to pick one. You don't have the money. One of them don't want to sign. You lose in Diggs, Lamb, or Dak.
That hurts. I think that question really hurts my soul. Like when Emmitt Smith went to the Cardinals, hurts my soul. Personally, I gotta lose Lamb. And I don't like saying that, but look at these receivers coming out. The receiver market's gonna take a dive soon. Because they're just coming out, kind of like running backs have been just coming out. Well, now we've got all these receivers, and it's almost like better ones are coming in every year. So it's kind of the smart business move to take your chance at one of them if you got to pick.
I don't hate that because I could see, like you said, the market. I could see a lot of guys once they're getting to 30. Teams are like, all right, we don't need to pay him. And a lot of guys coming off their first contract might start getting traded. They sign the big deal and everything, but then teams are like, you know what? We drafted this guy here. Let's try to get a second-round pick. And he has to be part of the market now.
Mm-hmm. I really think that's something that, we're going to start seeing more is, we saw football evolved from guys were playing for one team their whole career. Then, maybe 2, maybe 3 teams. Then you got, 9-team vets. You got guys moving around for money, so it kind of makes sense that they're going to get kind of flushed through the system, pretty quick. We're not going to see guys with long careers, I don't think.
Well, man, I hope CeeDee Lamb is a Cowboys forever.
No, so do I. Well, I do not want that to happen, believe me.
Oh, man, yeah, I know that. So I know we're all excited about the offense, but you look at the offensive line, David. Is that still a concern in your eyes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was really disappointed with how we treated that line this offseason. I mean, we literally have Zach Martin. That's the anchor of that line. We do have Tyler Smith, but who else is going to be on that line come, week 12? And we kind of take for granted that Zach Martin has been healthy his whole career. He's a 10-year vet. I hate to say it, but you can only expect so much, out of a guy that's played that long and hard.
All right, so let me ask you. You have the line you have. No, you can't add in any free agents, can't do any of that. These are the guys. You know them. They're set up. Tell me how you line up your offensive line. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. Who's your 5 starters?
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. I wouldn't change my mind because I knew it. I've gone through this scenario a few times. I go Tyron, Tyler, Biotish, Martin, and Steele. That's how I start things off. I don't see another way that you can do this. That's your best starting 5. There isn't another good option there.
I agree 100%. Now the tough part. Go ahead, Paul. You're up, and now you have the hard question.
This was Mike's question, by the way, David. So don't be mad at me when I asked it. What happens? What are you going to do if and when Tyron goes down?
So in week 4, what are we going to do?
Hey, don't even put that in the air, man. We were talking about that, David. Come on, man.
No. Week 4 is when he returns from injury.
Yeah, right. For another stint. I think your best bet is Farniok to left guard, and you push Tyler outside. Zach Martin's not changing positions. Yeah. I don't see anybody else lining up to even be behind these guys, really, for when they go down. That's how thin we are at offensive line.
No love for Matt Waletzko?
He's just another one. I gotta see something. After preseason, when we get to the preseason games, I could have a completely different view of this. But just seeing what I've seen, it's not looking good.
That's fair. I gotta say, let's just get Tyron, get through 12 games. 12. 12's if you do playoffs, 12. I'd be happy with that. He missed 8.
If he got us through 12 games, perfect. Not every snap, obviously, give him as little playing time as necessary. But man, if he could get us through 12 weeks, that would really, I think, solidify just how that line can play together.
That might be my answer to this next question. Tyron being able to play like 15 plus games, but it ain't here for my answer. We're here for your answer. What's Dallas missing that would make them a Super Bowl contender? Like right there, Niners, Phillies, Dallas, all in the same boat in the NFC.
Larry Allen.
Oh.
Don't even. What is there anything that could realistically happen? Yes, Larry Allen, I agree. Oh my God.
I think a deal would need to be made now. We'd have to maybe see if we could get a hold of Trent Williams. I mean, there's got to be somebody that, we can get a hold of. That's just left tackle, left guard, doesn't matter because, you can push Tyler wherever.
Yeah.
But, man, if you could just get a guard in there, a good, solid left guard, that's what we're missing. That would literally put us over the top. No problems. Because with that defense, then the addition of Cooks, I mean, you're adding firepower. It would be an incredible show.
Give me 1 second. No, Jordan. No, we're not. We'll bring back Jamie Collins at linebacker before we're bringing back Lyle Collins to play the left side.
No.
Don't be posting stuff like that, Paul, and getting us all distracted.
Hey, we always got to show love to our guy Jordan, Mike. He's here. He supports us every single week, my friend.
Every week. He's like, you know how the Love of the Star has the Julia Child or Julia. Oh man, I forgot it. But their questionnaire, every time they'd send out questions, she was always one of the ones. So they named it after her. So our comments have got to be the Jordan comments, really.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. We're not bringing back Lyle Collins. Maybe he could be part of the answer to this next question here. Well, what would you say is the biggest reason for the lack of a Super Bowl under McCarthy so far? What would you say it's Dak? Is it McCarthy himself, or is it something? Is it Jerry, Steven, or both Joneses?
I've never been a McCarthy guy, but it's all on the Joneses. I mean, take it from not putting Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Fame. I mean, just everything that Jerry Jones is now is why we're not winning Super Bowls. I think Steven he's an idiot. All right. He makes dumb decisions. He's like a kid. All right. But if he could learn from Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy to be a good GM, I mean, those are two guys you would want to teach him how to drive that franchise into the future. So I think Jerry just needs to just stop. Just put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Fame, turn the reins over, and let's move on.
Lift the curse.
Yes.
I just feel like that's what it is, man. I don't believe in curses, but it's the Jerry Jones curse. It really is.
I believe that the year Jimmy Johnson goes in the Ring of Honor, they'll win a Super Bowl.
I think that's going to be next year.
Let's do it. Get it done. Why does my hair look dyed? I hate it. I had the hairnet on at work all day, and it looks like I dyed my damn hair. Sorry. I hate that I look down and see. That's what I see. I just see my
Is it shiny?
That's the glare. Sorry. Grade the Cowboys offseason so far. Take it all in. What they did with the offensive line or lack thereof, their draft picks, their trades that we love. Give it a grade altogether.
B+.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
It is a B+ because of Cooks, because of Mozzie, because of Gilmore. I think we drafted smart. I think Shoemaker was a really sneaky good pick. I think that we really hit a home run there.
Do you worry about him already being hurt? He was kind of hurt guy in college. Does that make you nervous?
No, because he's behind Ferguson and Hendershot. We can see if he develops. We can see if he gets there. I mean, he's got good upside, but he is injury prone. So
it's a sneaky risk. Some of them work out. You got DeMarcus Lawrence,
right.
who was an
Yep.
and you went Kelvin Joseph, who I had in the top 25 people in that draft, and he didn't work out. So that's kind of the risk.
Right. I mean, you take your shots, but I think that he could really develop, prove that he's not injury prone, be 100% healthy, and really contribute.
He moves.
Yes.
He's so underrated, and how he is a crossers. I watched these highlights that Marcus Mosher put up, and it's just him catching a 5-yard cross and going for 12 yards. And you don't think
about it.
But really, that's important.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 12 yards, you turn 5 into 12. That's a first down every play. I mean, it's little stuff like that. It's that is what we need. We need those guys that can just pop in, get us 12 yards, pop out. You don't have to play every down, but if we got all these playmakers, it's all contributions just here and there, all over the field.
It makes checking down a smart play, because if you're checking down to Ferguson, Shoemaker,
right,
or Pollard, it's a lot different than
right.
checking down to Dalton Schultz, who's fine, but he's not going to break tackles to get through, or Ezekiel Elliott.
Right, who's going to get you like 3 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, that's what Zeke gave you. You need 7, he gets you 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the guy that he kind of became after his first couple of years. So, I mean, go back to that question. We're not losing anything besides a wasted salary by letting him go.
Yeah, you think about the moves that we've made, adding Shoemaker, adding Brandon Cooks, adding Deuce Vaughn, and then letting go of Zeke. We had a plan with what we wanted our offense to be this year.
Yeah, and I think it's turned out really well.
Yeah.
I think we've done a great job this offseason. It's really promising.
Absolutely. All right, Dave, I know the three of us probably spend too much more time than we'd like to admit on Twitter, but I'm curious, who are your top 3 Dallas Cowboys Twitter accounts to follow? Who are your favorite Cowboys accounts to follow?
So I've got you guys as one. I monitor you. I watch you guys all the time. Mike knows I'm always commenting on his stuff, trying to figure out what this means and what that means. Because I haven't been on Twitter that long, but I'm, trying to catch on to everything. And I like Spoon of Zeke. Is a really good one. He's a real good dude. And the original one and only Kelly Canine. I mean, the guy is hilarious.
He's so
right? I mean, you never know when I log in. I never know what this dude is going to be talking about. He is off the wall, wild dude.
Yeah, Kelly's 2 for 2. 2 guests. Kelly got mentioned on both. That guy's it's that Jerry Jones impression, man. Man, he nails that. He's so good.
He really is. Okay, other than Mike and I's, is there another account that you'd add, David?
Now just Spoon of Zeke and Kelly Canine, really.
Okay. Well, hey,
those are really the ones that I follow the most. Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Eliezer for joining the chat tonight, man. Another newcomer, Mike. That's exciting, man.
I think Mendoza was on last week.
He was. That's what I'm saying. He's back for the second week in a row. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's one of our guys. I love it.
Once he hears us talk about food for endless amounts of time, then he probably won't come back.
We'll get there. It's because there's a guest. We haven't gotten into too much food talk. We're weird. He's lucky.
Hey, we can talk about food whenever you want, Mike. We can talk about some food.
I am on my 10-day reset, which means I cannot another one. I can't have sugar, alcohol, caffeine, flour, meat, dairy. So I don't want to talk about food. All
right. Well, next time we'll talk about food.
Yeah, I'm off.
We'll have to plan another session here when we can be foodies.
We'll do Cowboys Beef burgers.
Yeah, Cowboys Angus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could go so many ways. Okay, David, here we are with probably my favorite segment in this series on this show in particular is it's the Squash Your Beef. David, here you'll have 2 to 5 minutes to squash any beef you have with Jerry or Stephen Jones, maybe any current or former Cowboys coach or player, a Cowboys Twitter account, or if you don't have any beef, maybe you can give the Cowboys a pep talk and get them ready for the season.
I don't need 2 to 5 minutes. I just need Jerry Jones to stop. I don't know why he wasted so much time on Jason Garrett when it was obviously not working. Obviously, in so many ways. Just Jerry Jones just needs to give up the reins. I really don't care who he passes them to, but somebody needs to run that organization the way it needs to be run.
I like it. That maybe they could. It would be nice if they just learned to hire a GM. How about just hire Will McClay? Let him make all the
right. Hire John Lynch. I mean, God, he is the best GM right now. John Lynch is making it happen out in San Francisco. If we could get our hands on John Lynch, man, with Dan Quinn as a coordinator, just man, we'd have any defensive player we wanted.
We can't. We're not allowed to bring in John Lynch because he's in the Hall of Fame and Darren Woodson's not. And all Cowboys fans would like riot. We'd be like, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Darren Woodson needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, I don't want to get.
He does. He definitely does. One of my all-time favorites. Absolutely, he definitely does.
Legend.
All right, David. Here we are with your bold call. I think you stated it earlier, but would you mind saying it again? Because I don't believe Eleazar was with us when he said that. So, what is your bold call for the Cowboys 2023 season, David?
Well, I have 2 now because the first one wasn't planned out.
Okay, gotcha.
But this defense is going to be one of the greatest defenses to play the game. This unit that we have right now under Dan Quinn will be remembered. Just an absolute every single piece. It's like a chessboard, and you have all your pieces all lined up perfectly. It's amazing the talent we have on defense.
Can I ask, Dave, has any other defensive coordinator been known for like he had Legion of Boom and then say this one is whatever they call them, the new doomsday defense or whatever? Can you think of another coordinator that did that on 2 different teams?
Oof. You know, honestly, I don't know that I can. I mean,
neither.
I don't think there's ever been anybody that has completely built defenses on 2 different teams at that level. That top 2, top 3 defense. But I mean, the guy's just a mastermind because it's a scheme, but it's not always he just has a creative mind with defense. He just, he's constantly just switching things up, moving things around, and it always keeps offensive coordinators thinking. You always have to try and plan outside of the box. So, I mean, he's definitely a unique guy that we got back there.
Okay, sorry. Beef 2, I apologize.
Oh, so my second bold prediction is Pollard is going to finish above McCaffrey this year in the running back standings. Pollard is going to ball out this year, especially with McCarthy calling the shots. You're going to see a lot of Pollard. Pollard is going to be everywhere on that field.
I like that one, man.
An offense and a defensive one. Nice.
Yes.
Great. Man,
I'm really big on this team, man.
Yeah. Well, Mike, we've been blessed already this year with guests, but here we are, week 2 with our second person making his debut podcast appearance, and he just absolutely killed it.
Really did, man. Really did. It was great.
Thank you. Much
We
appreciated.
appreciate you, David. Thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to join us tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you having me. It was a good time. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, Dave, while we're getting you out of here, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
At Dave Stradamus.
Yes, sir. Mike, let the people know where they can find you on Twitter, sir.
You know it, guys. Nice and easy. CD Piglet, letter C, letter D, Piglet.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Look at us, little